Coming from the Caveman Studios in Buffalo, New York. Welcome to Caveman Corner with your host, Jeff.
Captain Caveman!
Dennis.
Click subscribe and the bell. Do it now!
All right, we just had K-4 Hostile Territory. We have Mike Hannon on from Performance Combat MMA, and we're going to talk about all your guys' fights and your gym. And man, first of all, you had to do all this with the flu. Can you give us a rundown going into the fight, how you were feeling, what happened, and how you got to the fight? And did you even think you were going to be there?
Yeah, actually, for a minute there, I was convinced I was gonna stay home and just have my other people corner. The only thing is they kind of suck at wrapping hands, so I kind of had to be there. So I just took tons of Dayquil and sucked it up and coughed everywhere. It was bad.
No, you guys are going to be sick, but I mean, hey, that's what it is. Like you get to the fight, you take some time off and recover and get back at it.
Hey, they always claim that they don't get sick, so it's on them now if they do, sharing a car ride with me.
Oh man, that's well, whatever. They got the fight in. If they're sick, it doesn't really matter too much. How many guys you got at your gym that fight?
Uh, like 20 something.
Man, that's a lot to get booked. 20 active fighters.
Yeah, listen, luckily, there's always going to be a couple that are injured. I don't have to worry about booking, right?
That's true. That's true. I mean, that's not a good thing, but it's true.
Yeah, it's just a matter of life, you know?
Right. And where are you guys located?
So we're in Wallingford, Connecticut. Nobody knows where anything in Connecticut is, so we're like 10 minutes north of New Haven.
Okay. All right. I didn't know where Wellington was at all, so like I had no idea where your gym was. I knew you were in Connecticut, but like no idea where.
Yeah,
New
exactly. So
Haven.
we're near the south.
Yeah, New Haven makes some good pizza out there.
The best in the world.
No way.
Yeah.
Listen, it was voted best in the world by pretty much everybody who matters, including Barstool Sports, okay?
Wow.
Yep.
Looks like we need to go on a road trip, Ray.
Yeah.
Gotta go try some pizzas on there. Macy's is disappointed that you keep throwing them under the bus, Ray. Never gonna sponsor us that way. All right, well, let's get into the
listen, they haven't sponsored us in a while, so
yeah. They don't sponsor, they throw them under the bus. That's what happens. Sponsors leave us, no more love from us. You started the second fight of the night. This one was a little bit tough for you guys. It was Aiden Dobo versus Peter Plewa from you guys. Am I butchering his name?
It's close enough. It's Pleva.
Pleva? What's a Pleva with a W?
Yep.
Pleva.
Listen, it's Polish. Nobody knows how to pronounce any of that anyways.
I messed up the whole fight because I was calling Plewa the whole fight. What did you think about this fight? What did you think about the decision? It was a split decision. It didn't go your way.
So, first of all, God bless whatever judge gave it to us, but no way. It was definitely solid Aiden Dobo win for sure. The fight pretty much went how we thought it was. Peter is just walking chaos. You don't know what he's gonna do when he gets in there. He's like the most athletic kid like imaginable, but whether or not he does what he's supposed to do is a whole nother story. We were debating whether he was going to lose a point hitting Aiden in the nuts about 2 weeks before the fight because it's just what happens with him. But I didn't foresee him catching a kick and then punching Aiden in the balls. That was not on the bingo card.
You don't see that too often.
No. Even Aiden was shocked. I mean, you saw him. He's like, how did this happen? Like, how did you punch me in the fucking cup? Like, it's amazing. But I've learned not to underestimate Peter. He'll find a way.
Yeah. I actually thought he looked really good. Those elbow pads they were using were very thick.
Yeah, actually, I got to say, Victor even was complaining about the elbow pads being really stiff and stuff. He didn't like them either. Peter didn't really complain. Peter doesn't complain. He just goes out there and works.
I was looking at them. They're just like very stiff. It looked like they'd be difficult to clear in a clinch.
Oh yeah, for sure. I didn't catch what brand those were. I have to rewatch it and see if I can make it out. But everybody's got their own taste in gear, and so especially with the elbow pads that can affect how you bend your arm, people get real bougie about what they like to use and what they don't like to use. But when you go to a show, you have to use whatever they have, and sometimes that can cause a little bit of a problem with people who don't like whatever that is.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the K-4 fights. It's the first time I saw those particular elbow pads.
Mm,
I noticed it right away. That's why I made the comment in the commentary. I'm like, wow, those elbow pads look really thick. Well, they normally use like the kind that I train in, like the smaller elbow pads that like just clear real easy when you're in the clinch. And I mean, they're not as padded either, so they definitely do a little bit more damage when they hit. But that's kind of what you want in a fight, anyways.
yeah, I think last time we were in Utica for Victor's fight was the last time he had elbow pads on, and I don't remember him having a care in the world about those, so they must be different.
Yeah, I mean, the ones in Utah were different. The ones in Buffalo were different. Maybe they just, I don't know, they just had different stuff there or what, but it was definitely noticeable.
Yeah.
Uh, then the next fight you guys had was Aaron Buckley versus David Lee. David Lee is a very tall man.
Yes, he is.
I called a couple of his fights now, and that was a excellent knockout for him. What did
Yeah.
you think about that one going in? I thought like Buckley was gonna have a really hard time entering and exiting striking range, but the fight went a little bit more one-sided than I thought actually.
Yeah, so you know, David's actually had, really good in the clinch. We were little worried about Buckley's power because I mean, you could look at the guy and you can tell that guy is strong. And David
Yeah,
even confirmed that afterwards, and he's just like, "Well, that guy is definitely, strong enough to push me around a little bit." But we were looking to tie him up every time he came in, but we wanted to show off David's boxing a little bit.
yeah,
In his last fight against Marcus Davis, he managed to get a standing count, in the first round, I think it was
yeah,
boxing, but he didn't have the time to finish it. So this, really just shows people, oh hey, this kid's got hands. He looks a little loopy and a little slow, but man, he hits you and it just cracks people.
yeah. Again, 2 fights ago, he was a little bit under foot speed. The other man had like better angles. I remember that fight very distinctively, and Buckley was kind of coming more straight in and out, and Dave was just able to time him with that punch, and it was over.
Yeah.
Um, he had a little bit of trouble making weight. Is he gonna have to move up, or that's what he was said in the ring? But I don't know what's actually going on. You're the coach, so I figured you
Yeah.
was gonna ask.
So there was a little bit of a disaster. His car got wrecked and
Oh
he
no.
actually only got to the gym twice in the last month.
Uh-huh.
So he was sick. He wasn't really able to train the way he should have. He's kind of stranded. He's like a half hour away from us in the middle of nowhere. There's no highway to get to him. I had
Yeah.
to drop him off today, so I can tell you it's a pain in the ass to get over where he lives. And so he wasn't able to do the typical work he does in order to make the weight class, and he was struggling on his own, which, especially coming off of being sick, yeah, that's the last thing you need.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's terrible too. Like I know how that happens, and like everyone thinks these kids got money and stuff. It's tough. Like most of these guys are living like half a paycheck to half a paycheck, working 20 hours and trying to fight. So it's
Yeah.
very difficult to train. If like something happens, your car breaks, you blow a tire, like doesn't take too much to affect training.
Yeah, and one thing it's funny just calling him a kid. A lot of people don't realize David, he's 30. He's 30 years old.
That's a kid to me, dog.
Oh, I know, but it's so funny because he looks younger and people think he's like in
Yeah,
his early 20s.
yeah. I actually thought he was younger than that.
Yeah.
He does look younger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he looks good
know.
for 30. Jeez.
He's got that baby face.
Yeah. What's next for him, man? He's up and coming. He was like main eventing, and then he's like down at the start of the card. But this is one of my picks for fight of the night. To be honest with you, I thought this fight was one of the best ones on the card. Obviously, the main event was pretty good too.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch the entire card yet. I did get to rewatch our fights real fast. So he's 4-0 now. We had another fight in mind, but that's gonna have to be put on hold. Obviously we gotta straighten out the transportation situation, get him training
Mhm.
properly again. Um, he's got a little bit of an injury that needs to be healed, so he can kind of kill two birds with one stone in the meantime. And
Right.
then when he comes back, you know, for an amateur fighter, you don't need a ton of fights to like set yourself up for a title fight. So maybe a contender match somewhere would be, appropriate at this point, coming
Yeah.
off of a knockout like that.
Yeah, a stiff knockout. It was very interesting to watch him fall down. He was like, blah, dead. Then we had Brandon Wilson versus Melvin Scott, man. This was kind of a mismatch almost. I saw Brandon Wilson in the training room, and he looked a little bit better than he did in the cage. So I don't know, maybe he had some first fight jitters or what was going on, but he didn't look good. And man, Melvin looked really good, very fast.
Yeah, he got the
Yeah.
nice uppercuts.
Hey, I called that uppercut and he listened. That's something. He listens, that kid.
Mm-hmm. I think we called on the commentary, maybe we didn't, but there's a couple guys that really listened very well on the card. Like the corner would call out and the fighter would do it instantly. Man, that kid has a big future in front of him. I really think that it was super impressive the way that he showed up. And I saw the fight just a couple weeks ago too, and that was really good as well.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Like 6 months in, he's already had 2 fights. And I mean, it's not like he had any sort of like background prior, like completely from scratch, 6 months. He was 205 pounds this summer,
Damn.
cut down for the 145 division. You can see he's ripped. You know what I mean?
He's got very good hand discipline too, and he moves very well. I thought he had boxed before, to be honest with you. I didn't know he's only got 6 months of training and
Yeah,
total.
no. Yeah, no,
Wow.
no. But if you got to be in a room full of Victor and Ben and all of them, I mean, you're gonna end up with good hands.
For sure, man. That's a testament to your room. Next we had Isaiah Price and Ben Batista. This one I have to eat some crow on. I'm gonna have to have Ben Batista on because I said he didn't have a lot of power in his hands, and he came out and dude, he just dominated that whole fight. And man, like Price is not terrible. He's I don't have his record in front of me, but Isaiah was like he showed up really good at the last 2 fights I've seen him in, and I was just man, Batista just dominated him. What a showing for him.
Yeah, Isaiah's solid. That's a solid kid right there. I mean, we thought it was going to be a lot closer than that, but I'm going to be honest with you. Ben saw your review of the fight. He took that shit so personally. He was like, "I'm going to go out there and I'm going to hurt this guy and it's his fault."
Sorry, Price.
So, he can blame you. He can blame you, man, but he's hot-headed, man. He's hot-headed. So, he was just like, you saw his face in the
Yeah,
walkout. I mean, that was
uh,
intense.
it was. And then him yelling at me was kind of intense too. That was my favorite part
That's
of the night.
highlight of the night. Highlight of the night right there.
I got 2 guys doing that to me. Gabe Vega walked up right up to me too and like spit his mouthpiece on me pretty much. Like he was mad. I said he didn't have power in his hands, or well, I forgot what. No, I said he didn't have the skill to stand with somebody, and like he walked around him, and, like because he's got so much power in his hands, like doesn't always show his skill, and like I just write what I see in the fights, and that's sometimes you gotta eat crow, and he proved me totally wrong. I was right about the headbutts though.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Both those guys come forward, their heads down, run right into each other. Like I don't know. I just do my best. His other fight didn't look like he had a lot of power. He put combinations together. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think which you probably saw the one at RFC against the white kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that kid Esmir, he's tough, man. That kid's really good. He had a couple fights, but his rib was compromised, so we targeted it early on, and all it took was like one knee to the rib, and he kind of gave up. So you didn't get a chance, but I'll let you know a little secret. Those white Rigoro gloves that they use in those, they're like the biggest, puffiest gloves of all time. So you go watch out because they're actually hitting a lot harder than you think.
I don't know. I can only call IC. Like I don't have a lot of. It's not like these guys are pros and they got like a bunch of fights to watch.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
you're lucky to see one film on the guy. I've never seen him in person, so I just do my best with what I can do, and I'm happy that these guys pay that much attention to me. So like it's good. At least like we're getting the word out and they're getting media. So like at least people are talking about them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So good for him. And we're gonna have him on, and I have to say sorry. Well, I won't say sorry, but I'll just say I was wrong. And maybe he can come to the gym and punch me in the face sometime next time he's in town. Uh, hopefully not, because I don't want to get concussed. Then Nick Walker and we have Victor. What did you think about this fight?
Man, so first of all, I rewatched the fight just an hour ago, and watching on video, it was a lot closer than I thought it was.
Yeah.
I gave Vic round 1 and 2. I gave Walker round 3 and 4, and then round 5, it was going towards Walker, and then the knockdown happened. So solid 4 to 2 points for Walker. Definitely legitimate. I know there's an argument about a draw, but I don't see it that way. It was definitely his, but I can tell you the exact moment that things fell apart is right at the very end of round 2. You can see that Nick kicks Victor in the liver, and it makes a very loud sound. Vic came back to the corner and said, "He got my liver perfect. I'm cooked."
Wow.
So, you can literally watch like the first 2 rounds, Vic's doing pretty much what Victor does, and then third round he comes out trying to clinch like way, way too hard, and the whole game plan changes. He's acting completely different. By the fifth round, he'd mostly like recovered. He was starting to showboat a little at the end of round 4, but yeah, it's a little too late. He's taken plenty of shots to the liver before. It doesn't usually affect him, but listen, anybody kicks you in the liver just right, it's gonna hurt you anyways. You know?
Yeah,
Yep.
and Nick Walker's one of the best in the business, as Ray said, going to the body. Ray predicted a body shot knockout for that one, so just
Yeah.
just
But
saying,
I
like
gotta
you
say
got some
that
protein
Victor
too.
Victor had some nice calf kicks.
He does.
And he
He
hurt
was.
and he hurt Walker with him.
Oh yeah, definitely,
Was that the game
definitely.
plan coming into that fight?
I mean, after the first round. We say it was just open, so we went for it. He went for it a little too much, and I think it was round 3, maybe 4, and Walker checked one really good. Vic's icing his shin up really, really good from that. But that's his own fault. He shouldn't have done that many times.
Yeah.
It's too predictable. But nah, we were looking to tie him up, and a lot of knees and elbows. Um, but again, yeah, you get hit in the liver just right. It's all gonna fall apart.
Going into the cage, I thought that might have been a draw, to be honest with you. I wasn't sure about round 3. Because I've only, when we call it, we don't see it as well as it is on video
Yeah.
either. I haven't rewatched it again. I thought you guys won 1 and 2. I thought 3 was really close. I thought you guys took 3. I could see why Nick Walker took 3 too. I thought Nick won 4, and obviously he won 5. But with the knockdown, it would have been 3-3. So I was like, ooh, this might be a draw. I was a little bit nervous, but it was a unanimous decision. So apparently, I was wrong too. I have to go back and rewatch it as well.
Yeah. I spent some time. So, I compete with my guys all over the place. I don't know if you noticed, but, we're willing to drive 7 hours for
Yeah,
fights
yeah.
because
You coming to Buffalo, dude? We know Buffalo, Rochester, like that's far.
I'm crazy. It's fine. Nobody else in my state's willing to make these drives. That's
Mhm.
fine. I'll take all the guys who want to fight. But, it's one of those things where you have to kind of get to know each sanctioning body's judges individually,
Yeah,
what they look for, because even though we're in New York, ISK, Gamma, USMT, they all
they're
score the
so
fights,
different. Yes.
yeah, differently. And so I've spent a lot of time at the Gamma events. I actually just talked to JP like a week ago to go
Yeah.
over like what they really like to see in their events, just to like really, I always like to familiarize myself as much as
Mhm.
possible. And that's why I can be like, oh yeah, no, no, no. They got that call right. It definitely wasn't a draw. If you rewatch it, I think you'll agree with me that round 3 goes to Walker, and that's pretty much the deciding factor.
Yeah, I have to go back and watch. I thought Victor had like a sweep, one more sweep than him. I don't remember the round very clearly. I have to go back and watch it. But I thought Nick was struggling to clinch a little bit. So sometimes I don't see everything either. Like because you call in the fight, you're
Hmm.
looking at the other broadcast partner, you're looking back up. Uh, people are yelling stuff in the
Caveman,
air at times. Yeah.
Caveman, he was struggling the first 2 rounds, and then like the third round, like he was like, I can't get in the clinch. He had like that spread,
Yeah.
to avoid the clinch.
I'll have to go. I'm gonna go back and watch it. But I do like I talk with Tom all the time. Tom Kilkenny, the director of Gamma, and he's like he'll tell you exactly what they're looking for, and that's what they look for. I think that their judging is one of the best of all the local promotions. Um, Seen a lot of like all over the place with ISKA. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, and listen,
Mike's not saying nothing because he's got a bunch of guys fighting for all of them. I do too. So
listen, I got guys
um,
fighting for everybody, so I stay politically neutral.
yeah.
I love them all.
Uh,
It's you know.
each individual organization has things that they're really good at and things that they're not too good at. I just love the way that the game scores it. It's more like the way I was taught Muay Thai as well. So I really enjoy their scoring system as well. I think that sweep should be like highly rewarded.
Yeah, and it's funny because like I said, I spoke to JP. He said the sweeps they're lower on the scale, that they don't really score them super highly. They're looking first and foremost for damage, and then combinations, and then variety of attacks, and then the sweeps are below that.
Yeah.
But in my experience, the gamma judges love sweeps, so
Yep,
I
me
always
too.
encourage them.
Like whoever gets the more sweeps almost always wins in the Gamma. So I don't know. That is a
Plus, it
variety of
looks
attacks
good.
though. It looks the
Yeah.
clean sweeps too. They don't really give a lot of credit for the ones where you fall down with them, but those clean sweeps where you're standing and just looking down at the guy, they love those a lot, and that's like just showing real dominance too.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can catch a kick and sweep the guy, I mean, what shows more dominance than that?
No, not too much. So how did you get into fighting? How did you become the coach? It's your gym too, right? How did it all
Yeah.
come about?
Um, so I grew up doing martial arts like my entire life. And then at 18, I got into MMA back in like what 2004, and I basically I came off of surgery. I was bedridden for a month, and then I had to stay home for another 5 months while everything healed up. I got fat, and I wanted to get back into martial arts just to lose weight. And there were not a lot of gyms at the time, but I lucked out, and there was one like 10 minutes down the road from my house. So the day the doctor cleared me, I joined the gym, showed up, and made it about 45 minutes through class before I felt like passing out. Because again, I didn't do anything for 6 months. I was out
Right.
of shape, and I was there for I want to say like 7 years. I'm now a jujitsu black belt. I've been doing Muay Thai for like 19 years. I've had my own gym for 13 years, and I started my own gym under the false pretense that I would have way more training partners because I wanted to have a focus on competition. But any coach could tell you it doesn't really work out that way because you end up focused entirely on your students. So, it is what it is. But I've always loved competing, and the gym I started at really didn't. They weren't into that, and that's fine. You don't have to be, but there's a disconnect in what people are looking for if they want to compete, and the gym doesn't do that. The culture isn't there, and so my gym doesn't force anybody ever to compete. We have tons of casual people who train for self-defense or fitness, but the culture of like let's go beat people up in a cage and have fun doing it is so strong in my academy that pretty much everybody either wants to fight, is a fighter, or wishes they could fight. Even the 50-year-olds who have aged out of it, they're like, oh, I wish I could do this.
There's a lot of people that are like close to being able to fight and they just can't do it. Like life can stop you from fighting, their
Yeah,
responsibilities, like health insurance, like a lot of things can stop you from fighting. Like not being able to get medicals. Like a lot of people, there's a lot to do once you're over 35 too, or they're like trying to turn pro. Like you have
yeah.
to like not really work. So like I have a gym too, and I have a lot of people that don't really compete, but they're in their everyday training with the guys that are trying to compete. So, like, I definitely understand what you're saying, and that's a great attitude to have in the gym. Makes everyone tough too.
Yeah, we're like literally the nicest, goofiest fucking people. If you didn't get that vibe from David, and it's like it's so just second nature to go in there and fight that we don't have to put on like a tough guy act. You know, everybody's super chill except Ben. Ben's crazy. It's fine.
He looks a little crazy.
Yeah, just a little bit, just a little bit. But nah, everybody's super chill, and you know, we compete in everything. You know, all over. We were just in Europe for the ISK World Championship, and so I had a 17-year-old girl competing in that. She won the Junior Muay Thai World Championships, and she'll be making her adult debut in March, and then taken her, Victor, and two other people out to Thailand to compete in May, actually. So
Nice. That's awesome.
yeah, we keep them booked. You know.
That's great. It seems like such a busy schedule for you.
Yeah, I think I have 11 weekends in a row with stuff going on.
I feel I got like 3 weekends in a row, and I'm like, oh man, I feel booked.
Yep,
It's
and
tough though,
half
man.
of them are long drives.
Yeah, it's tough because like the thing is like normal people they do that and they go back and take some time off. We gotta go back and we're back in the gym the next day. Like I don't know about you, but I was in the gym today. I'm sure you were too. You know,
No,
it's
I was on the
long,
road
hard.
the entire day.
Oh man, that's even worse.
Listen. I didn't eat yesterday. I
Mhm.
got through like half my breakfast, and I couldn't because that's what the flu does to you. And
Yeah.
so I woke up today. I was starving, starving, and so we made it about 2 hours into our drive, and David and I were famished, so we had to go to Burger King because that's what they had open. And
Great.
yeah, wonderful. And so keep in mind, David got calf kicked a bunch, so he's limping into this building. And we get in there, and I don't know what military uniform this was, but there was a bus, and they were all lined up in Burger King's line. So we waited a half hour for crappy Burger King burgers and fries.
That's crazy. That's a long
So
day.
it was a day.
Yeah, we go to Vermont and then we like head back that night. We leave at like as soon as the fight's over, drive back, right back at the gym. Like it's tough. So I definitely get it, man. It's definitely difficult. We appreciate you coming on. We talked before before the fights and we're like, let's see how it goes before we come on or not. But I really appreciate you coming on. You're fixing some of your guys' records. I didn't fix all of them because sometimes the Tapology record's way better to write about than the actual record. But I appreciate you keeping me in the loop with all your guys.
Hey, I wouldn't have caught that if it wasn't for you. You know, I didn't even notice, and it's been up there like that for a while. There's just too many David Lees.
Yeah, and I called that fight too. And I'm like, man, I thought I was going crazy because I was like, I definitely called that fight. That's a Gamma fight. How's it not on Tapology? You know,
Yeah, I know. They mixed them up with the short little Asian David Lee from New York City. You know.
yeah. It was crazy because I was like, man, I saw this guy fight, and I was like, I watch a lot of tape, so I'm like, I must have just watched him. We must have been matched against him or something, but like I never remember being matched against him. So I was like, man, I really think I called this fight, but then I just thought it was crazy. But I'm glad you wrote that because I was having some I got concussed not too long ago, and I thought I was like having some kind of problems.
Listen, it's the best excuse in the world. Anytime you can't remember something, you just tell people, yo, I get hit in the head for a living.
Yeah. I was like,
You get instant forgiveness. Everybody's like,
yeah.
I get it. I'm sorry, man.
I actually got kicked doing teaching jujitsu, not even like competing or like not doing like drilling, not doing anything, just teaching. I
Oh,
had a guy doing a back step. We were backstepping on a single leg X, and he backstepped the wrong way. I didn't even know he could do that, and like he just clomped me right in the head because I was watching another group right across from him because he just did it right like the rep before. I'm like, all right, he's got it now. Bong.
nope.
God damn it.
Yep.
That
Listen,
was
I've never once been hurt kickboxing. Sure, bruises, yeah, but like I've been seriously mangled doing jujitsu. countless times. It is 100% way rougher. It just is.
That's crazy too. It's the gentle art. It's not so gentle.
No. That's what we like to say about judo. Like, what are you talking about? Gentle.
Judo, anything but gentle. Even the gis are super rough.
Yeah, they are.
Jiu-jitsu's got nice-
It always sucks when somebody shows up to jiu-jitsu and they're wearing a judo gi. You're just like, shit, I'm about to get like sandpaper in the face.
Yeah, it's so crazy how hard they are. They should definitely be illegal. Yeah, brush burn everywhere is not great. All right, man. I appreciate having you on. We're gonna run through the whole K4 card. You're welcome to stay on. You can hang out and talk with us, or you can go whatever you want to do. Raise dogs in the background. Your dog's right behind you, dude. All right, we're gonna go through this whole card though. Right from the beginning, James Clark, Troy Ferris. You like this grappling match, right? What'd you think?
Oh, it was a exciting match. Back and forth.
Yeah. I saw that James was posting about like he finished on the back. I thought he did finish on the back with the rear naked choke, but he was in trouble a little bit a few times in that Casa position that Troy Ferris loves so much. He was on top for a while. I thought it was pretty back and forth. Good match.
Yeah, Troy with the top pressure. James with the he called us back a few times.
Yeah, James fucked up. James fucked up Hayden. You know Hayden?
Yeah.
Yeah, he beat Hayden. So I knew that was gonna be a good match. He's a pretty tough kid, and then he was able to beat Hayden, and Troy beat Ilfrey. So both good guys. Then we had Dogo and Peter. I thought, man, that could have been a fight of the night. I thought Walker and Victor stole at the end, but for most of the card, I thought that was the fight of the night. It was an awesome performance from both men. I thought it was closer than you thought. Actually, a lot of people thought that maybe Aiden got a little bit of help. I didn't think so. I thought it was pretty fair, but I thought it was a really close fight. I thought it was super close, like way closer than you did. I thought every round was pretty close.
They were talking to us afterwards about it. It was pretty funny. They thought Peter was going to be a southpaw for some reason, so threw him for a loop.
That's funny. I've had Dobo in my gym quite a few times. He's like a psycho too, so I was hoping for a super interesting matchup. I love that kid. Then we had Tyler Hill versus Jack Moon, and man, Tyler showed some toughness, but didn't look too good.
Yeah, Moon looked good.
Mm-hmm.
You looked strong.
Boom pays our paychecks, but like Tyler Hill. Tyler Hill, he had a super impressive first performance, but like I don't know if he got stunned in the opening 1-2 or what happened because like as soon as he got hit, like his hands came down, they were down for the rest of the fight.
He looked flat-footed. He was just coming. He had his hands down.
Yeah.
Moon was just lighting him up.
He was a bloody mess by then, man.
Yeah.
A lot of heart to go through that fight. All the respect in the world, but I think he's a better fighter than he showed there, and just couldn't get off at all. When you got a guy that's not getting off, what do you say in the corner? Like, what do you do to change it, Mike?
Oh man, it depends on the person. It's so individual. You yell at the wrong person and it breaks them. You don't yell at the wrong person and then they're not motivated. You have to really know them and then just figure out what that trigger is and go for it. Or tell them that their girlfriend is watching and they look like a pussy.
That was a good one. I have to remember that one.
Works on a lot of the guys surprisingly well.
Wow, I'm gonna steal that one. I like that one a lot. What if you see that your guy's hurt and he's not responding well?
So that depends because I'm the coach that says, hey, this is amateur fighting. If I'm gonna pull the plug on it, I'm gonna pull the plug on it. So one of Victor's fights, he was doing the WK Nationals down in Delaware, and he got dropped at the end of the second round, and then as you can see, he doesn't quit. Like
Yeah.
that is one hell of a Mexican chin. He does not quit. So he stood back up. The round ends, and the referee comes running over, and she's looking at me, looking at him, looking at me, looking at him. And I looked at him and I said, "Listen, can you go out there and knock this guy out?" And he looked at me like, "I don't know about all that, but I'll go back out there." I looked at the ref. I said, "Nope, we're done. We're done." If he doesn't have the confidence to say, "Yeah, I'm going to go out there and smash a person," nah, you're done. Chill, relax. It's just an amateur fight.
I like it. I like it. What about if it was a pro fight?
Well, that's a little bit different.
Yeah,
That's a
I
little
agree.
bit different. I had a guy, listen, he got all four of his counts and they had to end the fight. But if he when he was an amateur, he got stunned with a body shot, went down and stayed down. As a pro, he stood back up all four times and I said, "Yeah, the difference is money. Money is now motivating you to stand back up." He's like, "Yeah. Yeah, it is. You're right."
I agree with that 1000%.
Yeah.
Then we had Buckley and David Lee. We talked about this one as well, Ray. But what did you think
Yep.
about this?
I thought, I like tall fighters, and I like when the tall fighter does his jab, set everything up with his jab. Yeah, he's a beast, man. I want to see him fight again. David Lee.
Yeah, me too. I love David Lee. I called a couple of his fights now. I like Buckley a lot too. He was super cool. He came on the podcast.
He's a
He
tough
looks
fighter. He's
super
a tough
ripped in the
guy.
sauna too. He's yoked up. Then we had Anthony Kessler versus Rohan Makepeace. I thought this was another really good fight. Empire and Brojo.
Yeah.
I think Kessler showed huge improvement too. Remember, like that first fight, he couldn't hit the guy. He was like way too close and way too far away. Like he just opened up. It looked really good. Rohan looked way better than I thought he was going to look too. I thought that was a super exciting fight. Um, I don't know, like these guys are coming in really good and then get better really quick. Have you noticed a huge difference in the level of improvement in the fighters in the last like 5 years or so, Mike?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think it's in Thailand they call it the churn is when you get a room full of experienced guys, the new people coming in get better faster. And so as the whole skill level of like New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts gets better and you have more coaches that know what the hell they're doing, like everybody's skill level comes up faster and to a higher level. Funny story though. Kessler was the first person that was offered to Melvin, and I originally turned it down because I didn't think he was ready for him yet. Because I saw him in Utica. Yeah, he got overwhelmed by that first guy, but he's still very
Mhm.
impressive. Now that Melvin's got a couple under his belt, though, maybe in the future that might be a good match.
I like that one a lot.
That's two very
Uh,
fit guys.
yeah, then we had Brandon Wilson and Melvin Scott. We talked about that one as well. What do you think
Yep.
about that, Ray?
I was impressed with Scott, his combinations, his uppercuts.
Yeah.
I want to see him fight again too.
I was super impressed that Wilson finished the fight, to be honest with you. Like I didn't think he was gonna finish it. Did you think you guys were gonna get that stop?
Yeah, I did. A couple of those overhands cracked him so bad. I was worried.
I honestly thought they were gonna stop the fight a couple times. The ref took a close look and just
Yeah.
let it go. So I mean, that kid's got a chin, man.
Yeah, tough kid, man.
Yeah.
Then we had Adam Kasim and Roy Williams. That was a kid that had that karate style. It was listed as Tiger Schulman's, but maybe he was unaffiliated. But he looked good. He
Uh,
had these coaches in his corner. Like I don't
his
know.
hands was down too much, game man.
Yeah, his chin was up too. That's the real
Yeah.
problem. But like MVP just showed that it works pretty good for him. So, I mean, everyone can fight differently.
But I mean, if you fight a skilled fighter and that chin's up like that and the hands down, it's gonna be night night.
What do you think about that, Mike? There's so many different ways to fight.
Yeah, so first of all, I don't even know how many Tiger Schulman gyms there are. There's a lot of them, and so what you get good at is going to depend on which gym you go to. I had a girl fight a Tiger Schulman from somewhere in upstate New York, and the girl came. Basically, she was a boxer. I mean, hands up, tight guard, like totally a boxer. So, it doesn't seem very karate like to me, but
Yeah.
everybody's going to be a little different depending on which Tiger Showman they come from. But for a stance, like, I coach everybody individually. If you look at my guys, there's quite a bit difference in how each of them fights because I'm approaching it from like a very individualistic manner. There's no reason for somebody with the length of Victor to train like somebody like Melvin. You know what I mean? Completely
Right.
different body types. So you have to take a different approach with it. If that kind of thing works for MVP, I mean, God bless him. But in my experience, hands down, it's gonna backfire more often than not.
And you have to be such an explosive athlete, and the problem with that is that window of that time is very short,
Yep.
and eventually you're going to get cracked, and then it's going to be the end of you. And like, if you don't have great avoidance, that lead leg is going to take damage, and you're going to get knocked out anyways. Guys like MVP though, they do a really good job not actually getting hit, using a shoulder roll and
Yep.
keeping their chin down and head movement with the strikes. And unfortunately for Roy, he's fighting like that, but his chin is up, and sooner or later he's going to get tagged like that. But I mean, you can always refine that style. I mean, he just made a huge win off me for whatever that guy's name is, Magomedov, a one-eyed fighter. I had a big bet on MVP, and he took it for me. So let's go. Next up, we got Dustin and I think his name was. I don't remember how to say it. And Hunter Kingsbury. Dustin just kind of owned that fight. Kid was strong. He had a whole home crowd fan.
Jesus Christ, the energy he had all rounds going hard.
Yeah, that loudest fight that you heard, that was this fight. There was
Oh,
like,
that was it. Listen,
yeah.
all I could hear was just people screaming. We didn't get to see that one at all.
There was like 35 people standing on a wall just screaming for him. It was incredible. He must have sold a lot of tickets because
Yeah.
man, the whole room was full of him. There's people with signs and flags, and he did a good job selling tickets. And he looked super impressive. He wanted me to make sure that everyone told him that he did kung fu before. He had
What
a
was it?
very
Was it monkey style, okay, man?
style mantis kung fu,
Oh,
but
okay.
he was a very traditional Muay Thai fighter in his approach and his fighting. He didn't do like any hand trapping techniques or anything like that. It was all like round kicks, parries, straights, and it was like regular fighting. But he was really proud of his kung fu background. Then we had Aubrey Bordesi versus Emily Dallas. This was another split decision, and Emily Dallas, every time she fights, it's so close. What do you think about this one, Ray?
I think she got a nice one too.
Yeah.
She was using a lot. But she I don't know, she don't move her head a lot, so she
No.
get caught up a lot.
She's very linear too. She goes like straight in and straight out. There's no lateral movement at all. It's all straight in and out, and that's why she gets hit so much. I can't wait till she gets a headgear. I don't mean this to be rude, but she has a very prominent nose and it like sticks past the headgear. So every time it hits the headgear and bounces off the headgear, it hits her in the nose. You saw it again, like she had such a big bloody nose, and she never even really got hit square in the face. It was all the ones off the headgear. So I think as she gets out of the headgear fights, now that she's got her 2 fights, I think things will go better for her. She's super good. Aubrey from Taikai she looked good. Then I don't know if you saw this one or not. This was a huge one for us. Garrett Hughes and Alex Martel. Alex Martel has been having great outings for Sandy Ali, and he moved over to WY MMA. And Garrett Hughes from Empire Academy just knocked the stuffing out of him at the end of that fight. It was impressive.
Yeah, that what is it? Martell is the one from WNY
Yes,
MMA.
yeah, they're really
He was talking to us. He's actually from Meriden, where Victor and all of them are from. So it's like a small world.
Yeah, he's very, very skilled too. Normally, like I've been in the training room with him a whole bunch. Normally keeps people at range. And always like David, he can keep guys at range. And Gary Hughes was just able to get in on him over and over again. I don't know if he was having a bad night or if Gary Hughes is that good at making entries, but Alex really struggled in that fight.
Yeah, definitely. I saw, and oh god, I saw the finish too.
Ooh,
Oof.
that was
That's a unfortunate highlight reel right there.
yeah. Then we have Ben Batista and Isaiah Price. Highlight of the night, move of the night.
The Rolling Thunder.
Yeah, the jumping Rolling Thunder was man, that was. Did you know that he was going to do that? Did you tell him to do that?
We've discussed it. Whether or not somebody does something insane like that is up to them in the moment, but I know he really wanted to do that. He'd been talking about it. He'd been asking me if he could do it. Like if you watch Victor's last two fights, he throws that giant flying soccer kick, and then he tried to do a spinning back reverse soccer kick on Brett Valone. Both of them missed because that's what typically happens. So you throw it at the end of the fight just because it's like, fuck it, why not? Give the crowd some entertainment. But man, he freaking landed it.
And he landed clean too. He dropped them. That was insane. That's going to be on the K-4 highlight reel for the rest of the time.
Oh, it should be. It should be.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was a photographer, but if there was, I hope to God that got photographed.
Oh man, I hope so too. That's such a highlight reel for him. I mean, that's going to be on his highlight reel for the rest of his career. If in 10 years, if he ever fights pro for UFC or like one or whatever he's interested in fighting in, like that's still going to follow him. That
Oh
goes a
yeah.
highlight. So we were on that call, so hopefully he makes it big, so they hear us forever. Jordan Brock and Chase Dodlin. That was another good fight. That started our MMA card. That was those two wrestlers that went at it, Ray.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was an entertainment fight. All the fights was actually good.
Yeah. Chase was really chasing. Was really chasing that guillotine, and he finally got it.
Yeah.
But Jordan Brock is for his first fight, he looks so good. There's another thing, like, what do you do with your first fight, guys? Now, Mike, like these guys are coming out in their first fights, and there's no stage fright. Like, what's happening that these guys can get over their nerves so quick and fight guys with fights and be able to deal with it?
Like listen, I still get the occasional person who gets nervous, but yeah, lately in the last couple of years, people just don't care at all. And I'm not entirely sure why. Again, it might just be like saturation. Like the amount of fights these guys go to for each other, the amount of exposure they've had to the environment, like it just lowers your nerves. You know what I mean?
I think so. And you're like when all your guys are fighting, you go to the fights, you feel like you're actually there anyways. Even if you're in a crowd watching it, you still I fight with that guy every day, and you see it.
Yeah.
And you're not as the first time I went to a Muay Thai fight, I was fighting in that Muay Thai fight. So I had never even been to a Muay Thai fight before I fought in one. So like I guess it's different now for sure. There's so many more shows too.
Oh yes, so many more. Just not here in Connecticut.
Mike, hey Mike, do you go to New York City a lot?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Man, what a haul that is.
Listen, I can get home from New York City in like an hour 40, but driving down there sometimes, oh God, we hit the New York City Marathon. Didn't know that was a thing. It was like almost a 4-hour drive into the city. Nightmare.
Awful. Gabe's not appreciative of the wrestling. He ain't trying to sell wrestling. From the guy that's got 2 submission wins in his last 2 fights. I'm just saying, Gabe. Like, we got RJ Littlefield versus Joe Johnson. I do some training with RJ, so I don't want to say too many bad things about him, but man, he got mollywopped in this one.
Yeah.
He definitely has the dog in him, though. He didn't quit. I was very impressed by Joe Johnson's striking, to be honest.
Hey man, what was the deal with the mouthpiece?
I don't know. I'm gonna ask him if he had a molded mouthpiece or not. His mouthpiece must have came out like 9 times. He got point taken away from it. Yeah, I think it's the most times ever. it just kept coming out like, and not even like spots where he's in trouble, or it didn't look like he's really that tired either. Just like he'd get hit in the mouthpiece, come flying out. He
And
got
he just
teeth
go pick it
flying
up.
out.
He
Yeah,
just go pick it up like he could get kicked in the face.
yeah. Like he would get the other dude's hitting him while he's picking up his mouthpiece, putting it in his mouth. Like the dude is.
Oh
It was,
man.
it was interesting. It looked like it was molded too. I asked JP if it was molded, and he said it looked like it was molded. So, like it had teeth marks in it and stuff. So maybe he had someone else's mouthpiece and it didn't fit right. These guys are wild, man. You'd be surprised what happens at these shows. Like, oh man, I forgot my mouthpiece. Can I borrow yours? Or and they're like, yeah, just keep it, dog. Don't bring it back. How many times have you seen something like that, Mike?
Not a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Really? Not in the back. Maybe not your guys because you're coming in with a coach, but like the guys that come in without gyms and they're like, I don't have a mouthpiece, I don't got a
It
cup.
must be a Buffalo thing.
Yeah, maybe it is a Buffalo thing. I don't know.
Maybe.
I see that all the time. Anyways, if you watch the film, you see RJ in that straight armbar. Man, Cheza El Kakui, it was like so straight, and he just he survived it, and he survived the fight, and it shows how much of a dog he's got in him. But could use some work on his striking and his jiu-jitsu. He was in triangle after triangle too.
Yep.
Like it was rough. Then we had Skylar Rasmussen versus Deontay Porter. Another knockout. Deontay looked really sharp. Have you guys all run into Deontay yet?
I actually didn't even get to see that fight. I saw a bunch of the other ones, but that one I did not see.
Yeah, that kid is like I watched a lot of his fights. Skylar is tough. I've never seen Skylar stop before. And Dante dropped him right, just 30 boxing in the clinch, just like almost like just a hook and right hand, and put him down on the floor and finished him.
Yeah.
I was really surprised. That kid has a lot of power. He's got a great triangle. He doesn't have the best record in the world, but man, I haven't seen his fights that he lost aren't on film. But I don't know what happened that he lost these fights because man, he's got great jiu-jitsu. He's got really good striking. I don't know how he's losing.
Sometimes it happens. Probably fighting great fighters, good
Yeah,
fighters.
probably. Probably fighting performance guys, performance combat MMA guys.
Listen, if you're not taking losses as an amateur, you're not doing yourself any justice. Go take some losses, fight the really good guys before you go pro. That's all that matters.
So as a coach myself, I try and get my guys tough fights. I don't really not tougher than they can handle, but I don't want them to have easy fights. I want them all to be, challenging for them. I don't want them to have it doesn't matter what their record is. I want them to be good fighters.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's really important. And a lot of you amateur guys, like if you're watching and listening, try and get that 7-0 record. But if you beat a bunch of guys that are 2-6 and 3-5 and 2-9, that when people go look at your records, it doesn't really matter much, and you're not tested. Then you go pro and you fight some guy that was 4-5 as an amateur, and he whoops on you. Those it can happen real easy.
Yeah.
Look at Derek. Derek had a terrible amateur record because he started fighting. He should not have started fighting. He didn't even know how to grapple. So his first 5 fights, he was getting totally out grappled, and then then he puts a string of wins together, turns pro, hasn't stopped winning at pro.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be.
Hey, we can't all be Todd Banks 10-0, beating up Germans in Germany.
No, dude, Todd Banks is taking tough fights though. That's different.
Yeah, he is. He's crushing people, man.
If you're 10-0 and you're fighting tough guys, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah,
That's what you
exactly.
should be doing.
Yeah. Listen, you should have seen him after he won in Austria. This man leapt into the sky, had to be 5 feet up. What are his legs made out of, man? Holy shit.
There are big things. I did try and pick a fight with him though.
Yeah, you did.
I tried to match him and Garrett Hughes together because he beat one of his teammates, and he's standing there, he's pounding his chest. So I was like, looks like Todd Banks wants a fight. I was going to pick a fight, trying to matchmake for Keith right there in the cage. Hopefully I got it. Then the co-main, Cameron Johnson versus Saku Bird. Saku's first chest, and it didn't come out too good for him. Cameron just kind of dominated him. He looked really good, Cameron Johnson.
Yeah, he did.
Academy.
He did.
Yeah, so originally Cam was supposed to fight one of my kids. He was Kevin, who was one of the guys in the corner with me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't know what Melvin's made out of, but Kevin and Melvin kicked each other, collided knees, and Kevin's leg kept going. And so he was in a knee brace, couldn't walk for like 2 weeks, so he had to pull out of the fight. But he got a good look at Cameron Johnson, and he just basically went, "Yeah, I'll fight him. I don't care."
Yeah, I think that was a much better matchup. I don't think Saku was ready, to be honest with you.
It just looked like it maybe too short notice. He wasn't, maybe ready for it.
He was already on the card against someone else that was a much lesser opponent. You come in for the title shot. He's never been tested, never seen him crack before. He came in undefeated, but like we say, it depends on who you're fighting too. He had a great record, but he wasn't ready to compete with those guys that been killing each other. And Cameron just kind of walked through him, and Saku decided not to go on. And
How tall is he?
Saku, tall. Looks like 6'1". He looks like
6'2", I think. 6'2".
6'2". Yeah, 6'2".
Oh
he is
God.
a tall dude. For 130 pounds too.
Damn.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I mean, you could say David Lee is tall, but that's next level, man.
That's as tall. I think that's as tall as you can possibly be at 130 pounds.
Crazy.
And he's not super skinny either. He's skinny, but he's got muscularity too. For 130, that's pretty good. He must be sucking a lot of weight. Definitely a strong weight cut. And then the main event, Nick Walker versus Victor. I thought this was fight of the night. This was such a good fight. I almost felt like Victor gave it away a little bit, to be honest with you. I don't mean to criticize your own fighter too, but he started showboating in the 4th and 5th, and if he could have iced one of those 2 rounds instead of selling himself, I think he could have stole that one, or not stole it, won it.
Yeah, like we said, he did get caught at the end of round 2, and I think he had round 1 and 2. After that, you could tell the energy just wasn't there, and that explains round 3 why he was trying to clinch so hard, because he was trying to prevent that long distance kick to the liver while it recuperated, and even after it was better, it was kind of too little, too late. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he came out and he was talking with us like championship rounds. I got this one, and then he was just kind of showing around a little bit. I think I don't know if he was trying to get through to himself or what. Or I didn't know that he was that Bioshock hurt him so much. So sitting in the corner, I'm like, man, all he's got to do is just hold together for 1 round, keep it together, and he's got this fight.
Yep.
And, it always makes me nervous when people start talking to the commentary team.
Well, listen, this is the first time he's ever done any strength and conditioning. This is his 11th fight. So give him a year and watch how different he is, because man's never hit a weight in his life. All of a sudden, he's like, squats, deadlifts, what are these? It's going to make such a tremendous difference. And then also, this was his first fight sober.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So, listen, you give up the drink and watch the difference. Give him a year. It's going to be like a different human.
Wow, that's so impressive, because I told Nick Walker there's no way that he could stop him. I offered him $100 if he could stop him, because I don't think Victor can be stopped. I've watched enough of his fights to know this man is incredibly tough. So I told Nick Walker I'd give him $100 in cage in front of everybody if he could stop Victor, and I didn't think it could ever happen. So I'm pretty safe bet for me.
Man, that's a better offer though. You offered him $100. Ben Field offered Victor 50. Man, just to finish Walker.
Oh man,
getting the half off sale here. That's not cool.
That's a Burger King guy. I wouldn't offer Victor anything, because I think it was much more likely if someone was going to be finished. I think it would be Nick. Like, I've never seen Nick like really beat up before. Before that last fight, I've seen Victor take a beating and just be like, whatever,
Yep.
don't matter to me. Like, I don't think he can be stopped. If he gets stopped, man, he's gonna be out cold.
Listen,
It's
I have
not gonna
hit
be.
that man incredibly hard, and he just eats it.
Yeah, like, he's an incredible guy, man. I love watching his fights, and I'm sure he's gonna fight for a title again soon. Hopefully for us. It'd be great to
Yeah,
have him
yeah.
on back again. He's an exciting fighter. I definitely want to
Yeah.
have him on the card as much as we can get him. Um, I like his hair. His hair's coming in nice too. It's getting a little bit wild.
Listen, he used to have a full afro. That was something. Now he's got this mullet fro thing going on. One time he just randomly showed up and his whole head was shaved. You never know what the hell he's gonna do. But I'm not a fan of the cheetah print or the leopard print shorts. Not my thing.
I agree. I said the same thing. Ray asked me about his shorts when he came out. I was like, not a fan.
Not my thing. Not my thing. I like the entire Mexican ensemble that we did out in Buffalo with the Mexican flag shorts and everything.
That
It
was
seemed
nice.
fitting. But like the leopard, nah, I'm good.
He should have came down with grandma if he was gonna do that. Oh, Grandma Cougar. I'm making fun of Ray because Ray likes grandmas. Ray dates the grandmas now.
Come on.
Teach their own.
It's all right to make him banana bread. Ray can't even lie about it. He brought banana bread to the gym. He's like, my girl made this for me. I'm just teasing.
Oh man.
All right, man. Thank you so much for coming on, Mike. We appreciate you guys. Another awesome K-4 hostile territory. Went to the Rochester for the first time. Sold out show. Thank you everyone that came out and bought tickets.
Yep.
And man, sold out. Standing room only. It was a really good show. What'd you think about the venue?
So
I thought. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, Ray. Go.
Oh no. I thought the ceiling was kind of low, but that was cool though.
What'd you think, Mike?
Yo, speaking of low ceilings, did you go to the bathroom? Those have
Yeah.
to be the lowest ceilings of any bathroom I've ever been in.
Agree.
Yeah.
You walk down that little thing and the ceiling doesn't get any higher. You're like, oh damn.
No, I'm 6 feet tall. I'm like, what are the people who are like 6'4" doing? Like, this is crazy.
I was
Nuts.
a little bit worried that David Lee was going to hit his head on the chandelier.
Yeah.
Rewatching it, I should have warned him getting into the cage not to hit his head on the post on the cage. But to be fair, we have a show cage in my gym. The kind that are 3 feet off the ground. The
Yeah.
ceiling tiles are like here over your head, so everybody's under orders not to punch up. We've lost a few ceiling tiles.
Oh. At least didn't lose the chandelier at the show. I was like, man, if David gets swept and he's like reaching out over the cage or something, like he's gonna hit that chandelier. He's so tall.
Yeah, he got the long arms too. They'll go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that would have been scary. We could have had chandelier crashing down. That'd be a great show. Anyways, I thought the venue was nice. The locker rooms are separated okay. I hate when the promotions put both locker rooms in the same place and there's nothing, no barriers. I thought it was a pretty good first show for being out there. Not quite Riverworks, but it was still pretty good.
Yeah.
That's all I got. You got anything to plug, Mike?
Nah, if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, performance_combat_Mike.
Definitely do that, guys. Check it out. Watch the gym. You got anyone on the card next week?
What's next week?
Connected? Elite.
Elite, yeah. So I've got 2 guys debuting. I got a middle-aged father of 2 who doesn't speak English. That's going to be Victor's first person that he has to corner because I don't speak Spanish, so that's all on him. I got another kid coming out, and I've got somebody fighting the night before in Cage Wars, so I got a whole weekend full of stuff.
Nice. Well, I'll see you in Connected. I'll be out there. I got a guy fighting, and then I'm call the rest of the show. I think Ray, you're coming out too, right?
Yep. I'm coming.
Yeah, so we'll be out there. We'll say hello, man. It'd be good to see you again. A couple weeks in a row, we get to see each other.
Perfect. See you soon.
All right. Have a good night, guys. Take it easy. We're out.